my question, I don't know who can answer it to any of you. I'm assuming most of you are parents and just concerned citizens, and that's why you're up there. And Larry, you're the lawyer, I guess?
No, I'm just a taxpayer.
You're a
advocate.
taxpayer too, so you're, my question is, it's almost like the NFT has everybody by,
Yeah.
the communities, without lack of a
Have
better
your
word.
own Harrisburg.
And so, if you ask me, if I'm a teacher, I'd like the contract the way it is. I'd like to make 90 grand a year like that, you know what I mean? So,
Right.
so I'll sit there, dig my heels in and wait this out. What do you guys have? What kind of power do you have to hold their nose to the grindstone? Is this gonna be, am I gonna be up here every, I've been here 4 years covering this every year. I'm tired of it, and so what's gonna happen, how do you hold them does the governor have to get involved?
That's an excellent question, and I've been very proactive in trying to make some changes. I've reached out constantly to our state representatives and legislators. They've been very reluctant to come along this because they don't want to be seen as taking sides. And I recently was able to participate in the House Committee on Education's public hearing, which was held at Neshaminy, on the right to strike legislation outlawing it for school teachers unions. And Frank Ferry, our representative, was able to bring that hearing here. He's starting to try and make changes. I wish I could say the same about Senator Tomlinson's office. I've reached out to him consistently. They have not gotten back to me yet, and if they see this on TV, I hope he will. It's been almost a year now that I've been waiting for a response. But we're not asking you to take sides as legislators. We're asking you to hear the public, tell us what your ideas are and what you can do as a legislator to change the process. The teachers' unions own Harrisburg. The laws that have been written in the past protect them. Status quo protects them. They lose nothing. They lose absolutely nothing in status quo except for the raises and their steps. All their other benefits are locked in and guaranteed. The taxpayers have no leverage. So we're lucky that we have a transparent board. We're lucky that this board has engaged the public and asked for them help, and this public has responded. So in the future, hopefully the state will start to change these laws and regulations. That will make movement happen.
Yeah, I think to Steve's point, that one of the critical issues is the collective bargaining agreement rules in the state around status quo. And you make an excellent point, but there is some pain, there's excruciating pain that's going on in the NFT right now relative to status quo on the salaries of young teachers.
Yeah, you bring up a very good point, and actually 45% of teachers as of 2008 were at max salary, so they are not losing anything that's coming to them. They haven't had to pay any health care, so they obviously haven't had to pay the increases in those health care. So what is the motivation for them to concede and give back some money, even though the board may make the most reasonable offer they can come up with? They're really relying on the NFT in deciding and agreeing, which is the position we're placed in, is basically pleading to make concessions. And having talked to a lot of parents, I think there are people that have told me, why come to meetings, what can we do? And there is that type of attitude, and there's unfortunately a lot of people that maybe don't have kids in the district that don't feel it applies to them. But any homeowner is paying for this, and it does apply to them. And yes, we do need some outside influence. We need the governor to get involved. We need changes made that allow the board to find something that is reasonable, obviously backed by the community, a contract that we pay for, that we send our kids to, and why don't they have the power to make this happen?
But the other point on this is that the other half of teachers are at the lower step levels. And you have young teachers in this district that have lost to date somewhere in the order of $30,000, $40,000 in step increases and raises over the past 4 years. That's pretty tough on a step 4, step 5 teacher. So right now we're in a position where half the union's young, half the union's senior teachers. The senior teachers rule unions. So as this group on the lower end becomes more and more dissatisfied with the fact that this isn't getting settled and they aren't getting paid, and by the way, we do not have money for retro pay in the district, and the board has taken it off the table. So, when you say how long will this go on, I don't see it going on forever, because at some point, the below max step teachers have to step up and say, we can't do this anymore. You know,
They're the ones that are gonna have to vote out the NFT.
they're gonna have to, yes,
Right.
they're gonna have to take the action.
Right now, parents can't do anything.
Yeah.
You just gotta watch them implode.
Well, I think you can, the thing that we can do is we can support our board for standing where they are, and that's what we're asking parents to do. That's what we can do, that's in our control.
There's an issue related to Mr. Mayo's question as far as the community, unified community. The community is really unified. There's no question about that. And we're 100% behind the board. Now, you can say that there's not many taxpayers or parents going to the meetings, the board meetings, and standing in front of the microphone and speaking out. There's a reason for that, and it's called intimidation and bullying by the NFT. The parents are afraid of standing up to the microphone and speaking out their feelings because they're afraid of repercussions taken against their children all the way from kindergarten to 12th grade by teachers who resent them from speaking up. The community is definitely unified behind the board.
Charles. And, you know, I've recently had my grandson tell me that a teacher asked him if Mike Caputo was his grandfather. Okay, so, I mean, if you don't believe that the NFT is capable of revenge and retaliation, you know, take my word for it that they will carry out revenge if they find out who your children are. You know, change takes time. You know, I think we're on the cusp of change. I think the state laws have been starting to be modified now with the initiation of Act 1. We can't raise taxes past that point. That's one thing in the taxpayers' favor right now. And the other thing is charter schools. You know, charter schools, the ball is rolling here. It's gathering momentum and steam, and you're going to see charter schools coming in and competing with public school systems, and public school systems are not going to be able to compete. People are sleeping outdoors to have their children enrolled in these schools.
I'll just say, I've been there as the Lowman and Totem Pole and teachers union. I've been in a district that did a work to contract. I did 1 day of it. I'll admit, I did 1 day of a work to contract. After that, I said, the heck with it. I gotta put my kids first. I was in my classroom at 7:30, didn't have to report till 8:30. I didn't wear my union shirt because you have to put your kids first. And some of our younger teachers here are starting to do that, but they are scared because union membership, higher ups, are very intimidating. It's not a very comfortable situation to be in.